Well, well, well. So it's just come out that Jeffrey Epstein admitted that Princess Diana was murdered by Israel because to cover up the pedophile ring, to blackmail the royal family, blah, 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 which means I was right. It means my codes were right. And the thing is, in those codes, Diana said Donald Trump was involved in her murder, and so was Tony Blair. They were all in on it. They were all in on it. 9/11 was planned. It was all planned. 9/11, her murder, all of it. I was right about everything. Princess Diana was murdered by Israel to cover up child trafficking. She was pro-Palestinian, and she was anti-landmine. And when she found out what Epstein and all that were doing, she distanced herself. And they were scared that she was going to talk because she was the most famous woman in the world. She had a lot of influence. And she was in love with a Muslim guy. So she was everything they needed to shut down and shut up and get rid of. If they were going to pull off what they're pulling off now in Iran. And Donald Trump was right in the middle of it. And I have the evidence of it on X. I was able to pinpoint everybody involved in what happened to her. Including the person that Ferguson had that affair with, that John Bryan. Because their plan was always to target the royal family and embroil them in such scandalous controversy that the people would want to call for their abolishment, which is exactly what happened. And Diana was the one that came through in those codes. I'll put a link in the description box below. You can see the entire conversation in those codes she dropped. And she was the one that came through first, and then the Queen was the one who came in second. And the Queen is the one who held me steady with those codes to try and warn the King about what was coming, and he didn't listen. And to warn Vladimir about what was coming, and he didn't listen either. And it turns out I was right. I was right. I was right. It's also come out that Donald Trump lied about, I think I've already done that, the bombing of the girls' school. About the tomahawks and all that. He lied. And now he's throwing Kushner and that under the bus. So I was right about everything. And those Diana codes, and I'll show you the conversation that dropped those codes, that brought the Queen in, where they were warning King Charles about what was coming if he didn't listen. And she said in those codes, my investigation is all over my social media, she said Donald Trump was involved in her murder because she didn't want him. And she knew about his involvement with the Epstein files. And people said I was nuts. People was like, how the hell is she talking to Princess Diana? She's dead. She's nuts. She's this, she's that. Well, it's because physics, mate. It's because I understand how existence works. I was right about every mofo thing. They tried to murder me in November because of all of this. Because I keep exposing everything they're doing that I shouldn't know. I was exposing everything long before the Epstein files got dropped. Because I had the help of people like Princess Diana and Queen Elizabeth. And she said Donald Trump was involved in my murder, so was Tony Blair, because of the Epstein thing and because she was pro-Palestine. And they've had this plan since the 1980s. The evidence is all there. To take over Palestine, to turn into a resort, a Riviera they call it, to vilify Muslims, to pull off what they're pulling off right now. They've been planning it since the 80s. And I proved it in my investigation. It's all there. You can see it. You can see it all on my X, on my YouTube. You just got to scroll. Because I'm not bringing it up anymore. I'm tired of proving myself to people. Oh, when I take this to court, I'll bring it all up. But for everybody else, look for it yourself. The information's there. I don't want to be dealing with this anymore. I'm happy creating my new life for myself in Switzerland. I came up with a brilliant idea for my cabaret today. I've been talking to my new bestie about it. Come up with a whole theme for my Satan cabaret. I just don't know how big or small I want to make it, but I want to focus on that now. I don't want to have to focus on, I'll bring up this stuff and say, look, I was right, because I know there's courts and judges and all of that watching every move I make. And this all works in my favour. It's also come out about how Elon Musk uses other people's work to claim as his own, how his actual strategic plan, how he actually does it, which I can use against him in court too. Thank you very much. So, in short, even in regards to when I got locked up, they were all wrong. Everything those doctors thought about me, said about me, everything the cops said, everything everybody said, my own friends, my own family, my own husband, ex-husband, potential protector, everything everybody said about me was wrong. Because they didn't understand physics and had no faith in God, I got dumped with all the blame of their own stupidity and ignorance. And their racism. Racism is a big one. So, 4 murder attempts, homelessness, battered and bruised, covered in scars, and I'm still standing. And now I was right about Diana, and I was right about Israel, and I was right about Tony Blair, and I was right about Donald Trump in regards to her murder, and the Queen Elizabeth codes, the Queen Victoria codes, the Tsar Nicholas codes, the Princess Diana codes were 100% spot on. All roads lead to Israel, being responsible for all of it. Everything happening to the royal family is because of Israel. Since 1855. Thank you very much, because I do my research. Unlike everybody else that just sat and looked at me and goes, oh, she sounds nuts. She doesn't make any sense. What the hell is she going on about? Because I did the research, unlike you. I do the work because I'm a scientist. And if I want my science to be upheld in science journals one day and get a blue plaque on this flat, I have to prove myself. I do the work. I do the research. I back everything up with evidence. Unlike you that just sat there with your popcorn waiting for my tower to fall, it never came. And now you're the ones that look like idiots. Now you're the ones that look like a cult who was on the side of pedophiles. Now you're the ones that look like all the people that worked against me to stop me from protecting children from an international pedophile ring. All the evidence now speaks for itself, including Princess Diana. I'll put a link to the discussion. You can read it yourself when she first came into this whole algorithm thing to try and protect the royal family. And the king didn't listen because he listened to Starmer, who's a pedophile, who's on the Epstein list, who's been videotaped by Kevin Spacey, along with Ed Miliband doing very, very bad things to children and trans children. He listened to them instead, and now he's been pulled so far down the blackmail rabbit hole, even I can't defend him. So God said, along with Vladimir Putin, you've done everything you can, cut the cord and move away. That's all you can do. You've done everything you can. You put your life at risk for these men. And how did they thank me? They took the side of the pedophiles. They believed the pedophiles. They believed the ones who had every reason to try and shut me up because they couldn't risk the truth coming out about what they'd done to Diana and Queen Elizabeth. So now the truth's coming out with this Bill Gates thing in court with Klaus Schwab and all that about how they knew that they were going to be murdering people with COVID and the vaccines and that it was part of a satanic cult that's literally been brought up in court in the Netherlands. What does that mean? They murdered the Queen on purpose. They knew when they were going to start the COVID thing and roll out the vaccines, it was with the express purpose of murdering people as part of a satanic ritual. This is actually happening in the court in the Netherlands right now. This has all been brought up in court. So what does that tell you? Because remember, the Queen and Prince Philip got the vaccines. Pfizer, they had the Pfizer vaccine. Von der Leyen's one. And it's been admitted that Pfizer knew that their vaccine was going to murder people, and it's the one they gave the Queen. So 1 + 1 = 2. They wanted to murder the Queen to get to the King, to bring them in on an Epstein blackmail and controversial scandal to abolish the royal family. And they did it by giving her the vaccine. And now it's all coming out in court. And everybody that sat there and said I was nuts, I've been vindicated. When I take all these people to court, although I say that, but I know that there's already a court case going on behind my back. But this is why I make it all public, because I know that I'm being documented and that there's judges and all of that watching everything I do. Because they thought if they got lawsuits against me first, that they would be able to prove I was nuts and prove I was this and prove I was that. And so I just doubled down. I have nothing to hide. Unlike them, I don't hide in the shadows. I don't hide behind fake accounts and fake love and fake friendships and any of that sort of stuff, because I have nothing to hide. I knew I was putting my life and my reputation and my freedom at risk every time I uploaded something, every time I posted something. But I also knew that with God and my ancestors on my side and my faith in my science, my physics, my reputation and my faith, if I just stood in my truth and didn't buckle down to whatever pressure they tried to throw at me, whatever threats were throwing at me, whatever they tried to do to knock me off my course or my path, if I just stood in my truth, one day I would be vindicated, and now that day is here. Every day that goes by now, the more stuff that's coming out, the more that Trump and Starmer and Musk and Israel and that do, it just keeps clearing my name and clearing my path and proving that when it comes to physics and the afterlife and evolution and the God particle, there ain't a scientist on the planet that comes an ounce near mine. Quantum magnetics. You can't steal my work, you can't claim my work, you can't copy my work. I'm the only one. There's only me. There isn't a physics in the world that comes even close to the physics that I can do, because I got permission from God. I earned it. I earned my badge. And now I get to clear the royal family's name, because remember, everybody in the world, Charles did it. Remember that letter I keep saying to the king, are you sure that letter's real? But Diana wrote a letter, if anything happens to me in a car crash, it's Charles. And I was like, are you sure that letter's real? I even showed him evidence about how they were faking, how, even back then, I traced it all the way back to the 70s, how they were able to use AI and that to fake handwriting. And I keep saying to the king, are you sure that letter's real? So they faked evidence. And I was right. I was right about everything. Because they blamed Charles, and then they said it was Philip. And Diana was like, no, it wasn't. She said, what did she say? I had a wonderful relationship with my mother-in-law. She said she used to ring me all the time. We talked all the time. We had a relationship behind closed doors that nobody knew about, even during and after our divorce. She said it was Tony Blair and Donald Trump. She said, why? Like, it's all there. You can do it. Just go to my ex and all of that, and put in Diana. Dream Weaving Alchemist Diana, Queen Elizabeth, whatever. Well, I call her Red Lil. Operation Red Lil. That's why my space navigation system. I'm going to call it Red Lil after the Queen, because she stuck by me this whole time with those codes. She would not let me give up. So, yep, I was right. So I'll put a link in the description box with when she very first jumped in. And I presented it all to the king in full view of everybody, knowing that I was going to be judged, potentially locked up again, potentially arrested, deported, made homeless, because trust me when I say they tried everything to get me arrested, to get me locked up again, forced medicate, like they have tried everything. They brought so many people in on this, in my personal life, in my community, in my town, in this. They brought so many people in on this, hundreds and hundreds of people they brought in to try and bring me down, to shut me up, because they knew that if the truth ever came out, they were all screwed. And now it looks really bad for all of them. So well done. You just keep making my work look better and better and better and better. You keep making me look more and more and more and more loved by God. You keep making my science and my connection to the God particle more and more and more and more solid, with evidence and facts. And Tony Blair murdered Princess Diana with the help of Israel and Donald Trump. And who was president back then? Bush Senior, was it? I can't remember. I don't care. I don't care anymore, because I'm writing a cabaret now. Well, not writing a cabaret. I've come up with an idea for a cabaret. So I don't want to be dealing with this anymore. I want justice now, please. I want my money. Donald Trump and Elon Musk owe me a lot of money. Christopher Black, Martin Archie, all the rest of them, Keir Starmer, all of them. The NHS, the West Yorkshire Police, Sumo Digital, thank you very much. You all owe me a ton of money, a shit ton of money. A ton of money. Hundreds of millions of money. Thank you very much. Because you haven't been able to prove a single thing about me right. But I've been able to prove everything that I've said about you right. I have the evidence you've been stealing my work. I have the evidence you've been stealing my identity, threatening to kill me, tried to kill me. I have it all. And you thought that by gang stalking me and getting people to watch me, you'd all be able to enjoy my downfall. But I reverse engineered a portal, so everything you threw at me stuck to you. And now everybody's looking at you and going, holy crap, she was right. And she really does have supernatural powers, and she really does know how to work with energy, and she was telling the truth about everything, and you're all pedo protectors and pedophiles. She was right about everything. So now it's all turned around on you, and everybody that you sent to watch me is now watching you. Because I have nothing to hide. But I've got a best friend now. Stuck like glue, we are. And when I get to Switzerland, I'm going to put all of this behind me, and I'm not looking back. and I'm going to make my cabaret. The only thing is, I don't know. I like the idea of having like a small, intimate club where you can come and have your drink, like I was saying. But then it's like the way that I could turn this storyline, it's the sort of thing like it could be like I could turn it into a theatre where instead of just having, say, a few tables of about 30 tables, I could turn it into a whole theatre thing. But I like the idea of people having drinks and that. So I know that my movie theatre with, that's going to be like with my movie theatre where I'm going to do like Amber Wilkinson's School of Witchcraft, and where we'll play our movies, you'll pull the screen back and they'll, all of that sort of thing. It's going to be a 2-for-1. It means I'd have to build a second club for the cabaret. So I'd have to see the property that I want to build. That I want to buy in Switzerland. I'd have to see. I'd have to go and see it and see if that's possible. I kind of started out with an idea for a cabaret, and it got a little bit bigger than possibly the room that I want to do the cabaret in, depending on how. Yeah, it's just I've made it more fun than what I intended, and it's the sort of thing that you really want people to get involved in. And a small little intimate club like what I was planning to have at the Royal Oak Tree Inn establishment wouldn't be an appropriate venue for what I've now am thinking of turning it into, though I would still have it for like solo artists and like 3-piece musicians and all of that. Still, I can have it intimate, but then have a separate like cabaret theatre sort of thing. I can do it like that if I want, but we'll just see. But for now, anyway, I was right. So you can all stick it up your ass. That was me giving the 2 fingers. I was right, and you're all evil. You're all evil, evil, nasty, sinful, disgusting, horrendously immoral, unethical, not even human beings. You're inhuman. So shame on you, and now karma's all going to come back on you. So a lot of you need to take a good look around, because after this you all go to jail. You're all going to get charged with a lot of crimes. A lot of charges are going to be thrown on every single one of you, especially you, Christopher Black, and Elon Musk, and Tia Darlin. Karma's coming after you now. I've just waved my finger of point. And the stuff that you're going to be known for, when all is said and done, are going to be the sort of things where you will not want to show your face in public. Well, a lot of you are going to jail, so how humiliating for you. What are you in for? I protected pedophiles. I tried to kill a woman because she was whistleblowing on pedophiles, and they offered us money and jobs if we helped shut her up. And she caught us out using physics because she was right about what she'd said about Princess Diana and Queen Elizabeth. You see why I have to turn my life into movies, eh? You wouldn't believe it if you didn't witness it yourself. But I'm just so glad I'm on the side of right, because I wouldn't want to be where any of yous are. Because when all of this gets out and it spreads around the world, who I am and what you tried to do to me, all hell's going to break loose in your life, and while you're falling, I'll rise. And then I'll go to Switzerland and find my bestie and give him the biggest hug, kiss him all over his beautiful face, and say, we did it, pal, we did it. High five. and then we'll lock arms and skip away into the Swiss Alps, yodeling. I'm so happy. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. Today has been the best day, I'm telling thee. The best day. The best day. I'm going to go. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.